Hey, I was thinking this morning, and when I'm thinking a lot, I tend to want to put it down, so I guess this is a new entry for my little video blog, addressing this one to the person who told me that this bartender was just trying to protect me those 3 years that all this bad stuff was being said behind my back, and his managers were somehow getting the notes that I was giving to him to express my confusion over what he had talked me into doing while I was drunk. So apparently, according to this person I thought was my friend, this bartender was actually working for me, and he was trying to help me, and he was trying to protect me. Just thought I'd point out the fact that if I had a friend who grossly misunderstood my actions, so much that not only did they blame me for something that happened to them, but it hurt them very much, the first thing I would do is I would track them down and I would set the record straight. Face to face, I tell them, no, I didn't want this to happen. I tried really hard to keep this from happening. Even though this bartender never came to me and said, hey, you need to stop doing this because my employer is getting a hold of these notes. Wonder how that happened. And they're thinking all these things that aren't true. Even though he never bothered to come to me and talk to me and give me a heads up that there was a problem, or ask me to stop whatever it was that they didn't like me doing, that I didn't know they even knew about, because it was a private thing, me trying to communicate my confusion to this bartender who had confused me. But anyway, so according to my friend, who's also a friend of this bartender, he was trying to protect me, but his first action was not to set the record straight with his manager. His first action was not to come to me and set the record straight with me so that I didn't think these things about him that now I know are true. If he had nothing to hide, he would have come to me right away and said, hey, I tried really hard to tell them that you were not after me, and this was not what they thought, but they wouldn't listen. He never came to me. He never tried to make me understand. He never tried to stop how hurt I felt. In fact, when I tried to express my hurt, all he did was use the legal system against me as a way to harass me and get me as far away from him as possible. And the bar wasn't enough. First it was that bar, and then another bar where he had friends that worked as bartenders. They tried to get rid of me there too, but happily at that bar the manager said, we don't pick and choose our customers. We don't show favoritism. So, but then, the whole trying to run me off the road a couple times while I was on my motorcycle, and of course losing the theater. I don't really need to go to that town anymore, and so he's got me run out as much as he possibly can. And I don't see this as the actions of somebody who was ever my friend, and I don't see these as the actions of somebody who ever cared or was trying to protect me. And in fact, the fact that he did this to somebody, and has been doing this to somebody who I'm sorry, I saved this man Tim's life. And Tim will say, oh, well, you just dialed 3 numbers. Well, he's thinking of the last time when he was the worst and I had to call 911. But what about the 2 years prior to that, whenever he would become very disoriented, and I had to do everything in my power to try to get him to go to the ER when he didn't think he had anything wrong with him. And that included calling his best friend to come out and help me get him to the hospital, and when his best friend wasn't available, calling his doctor and getting advice from the doctor, and calling the police and having the police come out and help me get him to the hospital. He was not aware that he was as sick as he was. And I was, and I got him to the hospital, and we found out later that the one time that I wasn't aware, because it happened in the middle of the night, he almost died. So the times that I was aware and got him to the hospital right away, if he had been living on his own at home those times with nobody to see it, he would have died. He would have gone into a coma and died. So there had to be at least 3 or 4 times that I was responsible for alerting his best friend or the police or doing whatever it was required of me to do to get him to help, and it scared the shit out of me every time. And that means nothing to him, and it means nothing to this bartender who was his friend, and it means nothing to his best friend either. The moment that it was a choice between having to choose between one or the other, it's like I said, the guys always side with each other, and women are crap. Doesn't matter if that woman saved the life of their friend. Doesn't matter. She doesn't matter. Nothing matters except that they can go drink beer with their pal and watch football. That's all that matters to them. So anyway, that's just an FYI to this guy who said that the bartender was trying to protect me all that time I was sitting at the bar being treated like shit, and he was standing there behind the bar watching it happen and not saying one word to the people who were doing it to me. He wasn't trying to protect me. And if he was trying to protect me, his actions ever since I was 86 from that bar would have reflected that, and they haven't. In fact, they've only shown that he was this is all what he wanted from the very beginning. From the very moment he got what he wanted from me. So anyway, I'm hoping this is my last video. I'm trying to write off the last 10 years of my life and pretend like the last 10 years of my life didn't happen, because that's what I feel I need to do to get over this. So if anyone's listening, thanks for listening. I got to get ready for work, so bye.